Schools, they don't get the credit they deserve for being creepy as hell. Most people just see them in the daytime, full of life, with kids running around, locker doors slamming, and teachers yelling about homework. It looks like order, and it feels safe. But all of that changes once the sun goes down. You see, schools, they don't sleep. They sit and wait. And all of that energy built up over the years, the heartbreak, the fights, the secrets whispered between classes, and the pain that nobody sees, doesn't go anywhere. It just soaks into the walls like old cigarette smoke. Every scream, every bad thought, it stays. It just simmers there in the dark. You can feel it if you're real still. You see, no place makes my skin crawl worse than El Paso High School. Big limestone beast on a hill like it owns the whole damn city. She's a beauty in the daylight, old and proud, but at night, she turns. I was just a pup back then, early 90s, fresh out of the academy and assigned to patrol with the El Paso PD. I worked night shift because I didn't like the brass breathing down my neck during the day. The desert's a lot quieter at midnight, but let me tell you, doesn't mean it's safer. Anyway, we all heard the stories. You couldn't sit in a briefing without some old boy mentioning the school.
One of the city's most historic buildings also earns some national credit, but it's sort of a creepy honor. Mandatory.com lists El Paso High School as the scariest campus in the country. The most spooky story of them all, perhaps, is the photo of the graduating class of 1985. In that picture, there's apparently a student who's blurry, and no one seems to know who that is.
The place is cursed, they'd mutter. You'll see her if you're not careful. They talked about shadows in the windows, janitors quitting without taking their last check, and kids seeing figures walking the halls who hadn't drawn a breath since the Roosevelt administration. I didn't think much of it. I figured they were just trying to get a rise out of the rookies. I didn't believe in ghost stories. Well, I grew up with a grandma who tried to keep me in line with tales of La Chusa and El Cucuy. I know you've heard them too, but ain't none of that ever scared me. But that changed one Sunday night in '94. I remember, because it was slow, dead quiet, no calls in over an hour, which was rare. I was riding solo that night, just making my rounds, cruising the old neighborhoods near Schuster. Now normally, I would take the long way to avoid El Paso High. Not because I was scared. I just never liked the feeling of that place. Something about it always sat sideways in my gut. But that night, I don't know, something pulled me in. Just as I passed the front steps, I slowed down, real slow, like my boot got stuck on the brake. I looked up, scanned the big old building, limestone and brick, all lit in orange by the street lamps. And that's when I saw it. One of the heavy front doors cracked open, just barely, maybe 2 inches or 3, not blowing in the wind, just hanging there, like it was waiting. I radioed dispatch and asked if there was any maintenance or events scheduled for that night. And they called the district. Nothing on the books. I asked for a backup unit, just in case. Standard protocol. And while I waited, I kept my eyes on the front door, the hair on the back of my neck standing straight up like it was on a charge. And then, plain as day, a loud smack against the glass on the second floor, like a hand hitting a window. I flinched, heart ticking up a notch. I looked up. Nothing. Just shadows. Maybe a curtain shifting. A couple minutes later, my partner showed up. A young fella. Still had that academy shine. A good kid. And didn't spook easy. We went in together. Now, I done walked into cartel stash houses and run down trailer meth labs. But that damn school, that was the quietest place I've ever stepped into. No hum. No buzz. Just dead air and dust. The hallway lights, the ones barely glowing. One of them flickered in time with our steps. Not before, not after. Exactly when we passed under it, like it was trying to sync with us. "This place gives me the creeps, man," my partner muttered. I didn't say a word. Our boots echoed across the tile louder than I liked. Lockers lined the halls, like they were waiting for a bell to ring again. But there hadn't been a bell in hours. We cleared the first floor. Nothing. And then we hit the old staircase, the original part of the school, back when folks were still riding horses to class. I stepped on the first stair, and I felt it. Cold. Like stick your head in a freezer type of cold. I looked at my partner. He just shrugged. We moved slowly up the steps, sweeping with our flashlights. Then I saw her. At the end of the hallway, just standing there, still as a stone. She was wearing a long white dress. It looked soaked even though the air was dry. Long dark hair, and her skin was pale, like she hadn't seen the sun in decades. She was turned away from us. I stopped dead. "Hey," I whispered to my partner. "You see that?" He looked at me, confused. "See what?" I turned back. She was gone. No sound, no footsteps. Just empty air and that god-awful cold. I didn't move for a full minute. I just stared down an empty hallway. And then I holstered my weapon and said, "We're done here." We backed out, calm as we could. But inside I was spinning. My stomach, it felt like I had swallowed a nest of scorpions. I didn't sleep that next day. I couldn't. The next shift, I pulled aside one of the old-timers, my sergeant. He's seen it all and done more than most. I told him what I saw. He just sighed, real slow. "You saw her," he said. "The girl? Some say she jumped off the balcony a long time ago. Nobody's sure when. Love gone wrong or teacher scandal, depending on who's telling. But she never left." And he leaned in, real serious. "They say she doesn't show up to just anybody. Only the ones who carry the weight in their soul. Guilt, pain, and regret." I didn't say nothing, but that stuck with me. You see, back then, I was carrying more than a little of all three. I still don't know why my partner didn't see her too. But I never drove past that school the same again. I never walked those halls either. And I turned down every call that came through for that place for the rest of my time on patrol. You can laugh if you want. Call it nerves, night shift, or a tired mind seeing shadows. But I know what I saw. And she saw me too. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more scary stories. I'd also love to hear from you. If you want to hear a story from your city, drop a comment below with where you're from. And as always, until next time, stay safe.